Today on Hey, It Could Happen.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I turned into a pet fish? I did, I really did. It was so true. You see, I was at my university campus and I was sitting in the lab, and then I found on the counter a little bottle that said, "Don't drink me." And I stupidly decided to pick this bottle up because I was curious, and I took a swig of it anyway. And then all of a sudden I shrunk really small. I was going like this, flopping around on the counter, help, 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 help. I didn't realize this, and I was like staring at the wall, like, what happened? It turned out that I turned into a fish, a little tiny goldfish. And I found that we were doing little lab experiments on the fish, and we were testing their genetic qualities to see if we could make them transparent and stuff. But instead, no, it turned me into a fish. And so I was flopping on the counter like this. The lab technician came over and he's like, oh no, that's too bad. And he picked me up and he dropped me into the little vat with all the other little fish. And it turned out, I didn't know this, but when they don't need you anymore in the lab and they haven't done any experiments or they haven't killed you, they take you in this big bin and they take us to a pet store. And they sell us all to the pet store because they figured, hey, we might make some money off of these little fishies. But then there's this little girl. One day, she walks into the pet store and she goes like this, and she's trotting up to the tank, and she goes, and she shoves her face all the way up. And she's like, "Hi, fishy!" And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I swim and I went away. So I go back up and I look at her, and she's doing this at this point. Fishies make faces like this. And her daddy says, "Maureen, what are you doing? Maureen, come back here." "No, Daddy, I like this little fishy. This one right here." And so the little dad comes up and they look at me and they're just staring at me together like, "Oh, she's so cute." And she's like, "Yes, I like that one right there, Daddy. I want that fishy." And he says, "Okay, we'll think about it. Just look at the other ones first." And so I'm sitting there, and people don't realize this. They think that fish are stupid. We're not stupid. You see, there people are sitting there doing those faces at us, and we're just sitting there like this.
Oh my gosh, what a flipping idiot.
We know everything that's going on. We're not actually stupid. We just can't believe how retarded you look. And so they get the pet store guy, and the pet store guy comes over, and she's like, "I like that one right there." And so he goes and he digs me out, and he puts me in this little bag, and she stares at me with her big green eyes and her gritty teeth. And she's like, "I'm gonna name you Crap Face." And I'm like, "Crap Face? Why do I deserve crap face?" And so they were like, "Okay, well, let's put her in a little bag, you know, at the little cash register so that she can be pretty safe as you take her home with you." And she's like, "No, I want to carry her." And so she starts shaking me. I'm like, oh my gosh, my life sucks so bad. And they take me home, and the dad sets up this little fish bowl, and they stick me in there, and then they put me on the counter, and I'm swimming around in circles. And then I thought it was going to be an okay life, but no, this little girl's sadistic. This Maureen, I don't know what her problem is. And so she takes me and she puts me in a little fish net and she runs around the house with me and she tries to feed me sand. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just a little fish. And then she started putting food coloring in my water because she's like, "Daddy, I want her to be green instead of orange." And the dad's like, "Oh yeah, whatever, Maureen, honey." And Maureen said, "I'm going to give you a bath, fishy. And I'm going to give you a really good bath, and it's going to be nice, quack face, okay?" And so she takes me and she puts me in the bathtub. And she's like, "You know what, fishy? I'm going to think I'm going to take you and put you in the toilet." And so she takes me and she dumps me into the toilet and she flushes it, and I go down like this in a bowl. And then I'm like, oh, I'm away from Maureen. Oh my gosh. But now what am I supposed to do? And I swam through the sewers, and then all of a sudden I was dumped into this beach water. And then it turned out that when I got into the beach water, I swam up and I ended up near the shore, and I saw people, and then I turned into a human again. I turned into a human. I couldn't believe it. But at that point, it turned out that I had no clothing. No clothing at all. And as I got out of the water, the police came over because I was entirely naked, and they arrested me for indecent exposure. Yeah, that's what happened. Oh, that's what happened the time that I turned into a fish. It could happen. You never know. So you guys, if you can, please submit ideas and stuff in the little bar over here, and I don't know, dares, challenges, whatever. It's really fun for me to do. Any type of questions that you'd like me to answer. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later with my most ridiculous next video.
Hey, Quack Face, it's time for your bath.